Alright, alright, alright. Let's talk about SNES Tracker. So the next step for SNES Tracker is to incorporate a debugger interface much like the vSPC play interface, which what you see here. Very cool. Let's start the song. Basically it shows you what's being written, what's being read, and what's being accessed, executed. And you can go and like wherever your mouse is, you'll see over here that area of RAM and all values, and you can click and it'll lock that, and then you can check it out. Yeah, the color codes, like I said, I don't remember, but I like how you can like monitor all the voices, volumes, and stuff. I mean, that's something you need in SNES Tracker no matter what. But like as an early debugger interface, pretty cool. Alright, so let's talk about what I don't like and what needs to be improved. The APU port tool only allows you to increment and decrement values, but you should be able to click there and like input an arbitrary value. I'm gonna stop this. Another thing is once you're in your like hex dump RAM area, you should be able to click and get a cursor and be able to actually like rewrite the RAM to values that you want. But right now this is read only. So I'm going to summarize what I want to modify in vSPC play. Writable RAM and arbitrary value for like the SPC ports. That's pretty much it. Oh, it would be nice to be able to look at the actual pitch and voice. Like these are just bars that don't tell you what their actual values are. It'd be nice to be able to click and then like see its actual value. So and then in order to get this working with GME, so in order to get it to work with GME, one of the things I'm thinking is let's look at to-do.txt. Have GME open without having to open a file. This goes hand in hand. And then I need to be able to open GME and assign a section of RAM as the SPC memory. And then with an add-in keyboard play functionality octave selector variable. Oh yeah, this is getting more towards like an actual tracker. That'll be for later. And then add the vSPC debugger, which is exactly what we're doing today. So I'm going to try to do this in order. Modify vSPC play. Writable RAM. Let's talk about the writable RAM. I'll talk about it down here. So for the writable RAM, you should be able to click in this window, lock the RAM, and then when you're on here, there needs to be some math that'll take this window and my mouse coordinates inside the window so that when I click on a value, I can get a cursor on the proper row and column, and then it should go into like an edit mode where I can I'm thinking if I want to add like a delete key functionality, where it's like, see how this is BD, BA. If I hit delete twice, like the whole thing would just go back. I think right now I just want to take one step at a time. So we want to get something that maps the mouse coordinates to each of these row columns. Just see if, and then highlight it with a cursor. And if we can get to that point, we can move forward, and we can add like a mode, like an input mode, like a RAM input mode. So that would be step one. So for this we would need like a green block cursor thing, cursor graphic. Value isn't, it's trash. I mean, it never gets updated in the source code. So maybe it was like something that the original coder wanted to implement but never did. So this is another thing that would be useful. I decided to make it a double left click to actually activate the write capability on this like little mouse over hex dump area. So now I'm just gonna like look at the vSPC source code and figure out the best place to add into the SDL event loop the like double click check. So trying not to get overwhelmed, I'm just gonna open it up and take a look. So I'm just gonna look for SDL event. So this is probably the main loop. Now I just need to look. Okay, so here's where he does a poll event. Mouse motion. This will probably be where the code possibly goes into for the mouse motion checks. Here we go, SDL mouse button down. Just see what else is down going on. So I have no idea how it currently works, so good luck to me. SDL mouse button down. So here is a check for if it's in the memory view to toggle the lock. Cool. I can use this as like a template for the check later when we're in the other area of the mouse coordinates. Like, what am I trying to say? I could probably use that as a template for this area. I have to figure out how I'm going to get these coordinates though. Looks like there'll be a variable. There was a variable for memory, so there'll be a variable probably for that mouse over hex dump area as well. There has to be. Port tool. Well, let's just use a single click for now, not the double click. That'll be easy. And then we need to find the value, the variable for this like mouse over hex dump. So I'll do a search for hex dump. I'm not sure if it's defined in this. Memory view x plus 520. I think this is where it gets drawn. So now I need to like analyze this code. Temp. Temp is like a temporary y coordinate. So it gets printed at P and temp. So maybe what I can do is I can print the value of P and temp before the loop and print it after, and then I'll have the rectangle. I'll have the coordinates of the top left and hopefully the bottom right. But this last P plus equals might not give me the bottom right, it might give me like a bottom left. So I'm just gonna print them for every single effing time. and then I'm guaranteed to have the right values. So the first thing that gets printed is the address and the values, and these are like two different sections. So what I want is the first P, which will be this value, so like top left of rect. But actually, I really want this to be the top left. I don't want to click on the address, I want to click on the values. That will be our X. So I'll write like P underscore X. And then I'll write P, well, I'm going to write temp. Okay. This would be the top left of memory region. Call it right region. So I really want to push here. And then I'm going to want to get the bottom right, which should be if j is equal to 7, and then we can print it. Bottom right. For I is less than 128, I plus equal 8. So this needs to be in I equals 120. I think that'll be it. Except that's going to be at the coordinate to the left of the string that's being written, right? In that case, there will need to be some adjustments after this. But let's try making it and running it. Am I on? Which file am I in? That's the right one. Oh god. Let's see what we got here. We need to kill this. Alright, we need to add an if statement here because we need to say if I equals 0. So these are our base values. I'll copy these. And now I want to go back to the STL event. Oh, it looks like you can use the wheel up to change the RAM? What? I didn't know that. Let me check that out, yo. Yeah, but it's still an increment decrement, so it's kind of annoying. I'm just going to do the printf if it's in the proper area. We'll see if it works. I'm using the code above as a basis. I should define these variables. I'll just define them right here for now. Like mouse hex dump. That's fine, whatever. let's add in, let's take out the other printfs. And now we just want to watch this. And I'm going to click. It's not working. Well, that's for starters. Try this again. Ooh, it's working. Yeah, so we need to add some for that last row. I don't know how many pixels that is, but well, all we gotta do is just look at the top left. Anything? Anybody? All we have to do is look at the increment for this. P plus 20. So we can just add 20 to our final X value. And we'll take a look and we'll check the precision. So we'll make it 744. And then we'll redo this. Wouldn't mind adding some escape key goodness. That's good enough. Could take it down a few pixels. I'd say take it down about 4. But that's just being a perfectionist. Let's keep checking. That's pretty good. I'm digging it. This last row isn't being fed. So we need to add one more row. We didn't get that last row. So let's look at the increment for that. Well, it would have been plus 9. So we'll just add 9. And now we should have the proper rect. Good. I love it. And then, so now that we have the actual click inside this whole area, first of all, I'm going to check that again. Works perfect, man. Now it would just be adding math inside that event that we just created, and the math would be to decide like which one of these individual bytes are we clicking on, and then get a cursor on there. So we need to see like what's the width of each of these entries, minus this like little piece in the middle, and then just call it an entry, and then we already have the leftmost, like, so let's just get our most important values in here, like most important math values. I'm just gonna comment it, like definitely the start X. I'm just gonna make the variables. I don't know, like I just doubt that these variables are elsewhere. They're kind of hard coded, and they shouldn't be hard coded. But for now they are. So we'll do like const entry width equals Like what would you say? I'm gonna say 16. So we need to get like, I guess a divide or something? What do we need? I gotta poop. Potato rock. Entry width 16. And that was the whole like 20 minus 4 bit. Or something. I don't even remember. X dump entry X increment was how many? I have to undo everything to figure out what's going on here. But I like 16 programmatically. And the increment Y is 9. Okay. And now we need to do some sort of division. The start X is 584. So we need to subtract. We need to get like int relative X equals ev.motion.x minus mouse x.start x int. Let's just call it rel. Minus mouse start y. And then we need to use the intervals of x and y, which are going to be the intervals of entry width and entry height. And that will be how we figure out which box we're in. So, and we use these variables for this. So we need to do like divide by entry width. So like we'll just put them in temporary results. Equals so we'll print this. We'll say that'll be like our little, like our matrix entry, whatever you want to call it. It's a coordinate system of entries. Let's see how that works. I'm gonna click here. Nothing's happening. Okay. Why didn't anything happen? Oh, it did happen, but I think we'll do fprintf standard error. It's more reliable. The stream wasn't getting like dumped or whatever the proper wording for that is. So let's do this again. Oh, that's way off. What the heck? Yeah, there's problems with this. Let me just keep going and okay, that's not enough on the X. Let's take that increment and just put it back. Okay, let's do it again. I think this left half should go towards this one. I should say -4 here and there. I think that's fine right there. Got a little nervous working with the unknowns, but that isn't right. That's not cool. Trying to figure out how to get what I want out of it. Honestly, the whole line just gotta get shifted a little to the left. How about just this? How about another song? My God. Alright, so at this point, I've got, let's restart the program. In this window, we can see when I click on these entries, which entry I'm clicking on. For instance, 0, 0, 7, 0, 7, 15, 0, 15, 1, 15. And then my whole idea is to have a cursor, you click there and you get a cursor. If you click there, you get a cursor on the right one. So say you clicked here and you started writing 0, and then the cursor moves here, and then it's blinking. Then you write 1, and then the cursor should automatically move to this one. And then you write an 8, and you write an 8, and then it goes, and then you can write whatever, and then you can hit escape or something, or enter, and then you'll go back into like regular mode. So I want to tackle the first idea actually, which was to divide these two values into one, so I can kind of deduce the halves. Let me see if I can do this properly. Don't really know where to start because I added in this offset math. Yeah, this relative x plus 2. Hopefully I can work some magic with that. I'm going to add in a third value down here. We'll call this which half. And what we'll do to get it is we'll use the remainder of the divide in the x. We'll do in res half. Yeah, not which half, we'll use that. And we'll use a rel x. Get the remainder on the entry width. And then we need to do some math on that, some logic checks. If res half is less than or equal to entry width You like that? Alright, that's good. I don't even know how this is gonna come out. Let's just mess around with it. We're gonna change that song too. With something else. I can't wait to get the new APU in here though, because this old SNES 9X bullshit is just laggy and crap. Like, do you hear that shit? Alright, what am I doing? Let's do this. We're about to make it. Dude, what level was that? I used to love that. Star Road? Something like that. Ooh, it's working. Oh my god, it's working. I did it first try. Oh, first try. Is this gonna keep up? That's awesome. It worked first try. That's great. Alright, I'm convinced. Wait, 316? That coordinate needs to go bye-byes. I'm just gonna add in some simple logic, yo. That basically says, where's y equals 16? Where's y equals 15, yo? Hard part is out of the way, I would say. Now, it would just be adding in a blinky cursor on the proper coordinates. So, like, then coordinates need to be derived from this. Does anyone have any advice for keeping a clean event loop? Like, I always thought of using different event loops. This is what I did for Meatball. Different event loops for, like, different game modes. I don't know. For this thing, I'll just put it all in one mode. Maybe the vSPC itself is a mode in SNES Tracker, you know what I mean? It'll have it, and this will be its event loop. I don't know. But anyways, I'm getting kind of lost. Because I'm not sure where to put the code when I enter. Like, I need to enter an edit mode based on this click inside that window. Ultimately, it should be a double click. So how can we do a double click? We also need to add an entry for the escape key or enter key. I don't think there's any key checks on this guy. So let me add in one. Case SDL key. I think it's key down. I know ZSNES has got some examples of this. I'll refer to its code. This is what I want. I think it's STLK escape. Yeah, I like how the break is outside. That's cool. I can dig it. Don't really need this one. Nice! Escape key working! Woohoo! But we would now want a check on the mode here. So I don't think there's a variable called mode. I'm looking, I don't see anything. So I'm just gonna add a global here. Int mode, yo. And we'll just call it, you know, mode nav 0, mode edit 1. We'll be nice and generic like that for now, it doesn't matter. And then we'll say, you know, if mode equals mode edit, do stuff. Else if mode equals mode nav, and we do that stuff. Nice and simple. Now if we go back up to our button down, we can now just say mode equals mode edit. But it has to be a double click. I really want this to be a double click.